welcome. My name is Nidhi and today we are going to be talking about a very special series called The Economic Times Think Diplomacy, presented by BLS International. In this series, we'll be reaching out to ambassadors and high commissioners of various countries to talk about some of the issues and changes that are happening with and between the countries. And Ashu and I will be working on it. Ashu?
Thanks so much, Nidhi. And it'll be indeed a very important topic that we'll be talking to across countries, because multilateralism, it appears, is waning and bilateralism is gaining ground. That's what it would appear. But there are too many issues that countries need to discuss, Nidhi.
Good point, Ashu. While bilateral talks may be the flavor, but issues like climate change, circular economy and many more such issues need countries to talk with a multilateral traditional approach. What's your sense on this, Ashu?
Absolutely, and these could not be the only ones, Nidhi. There are many, many more. Mobility among people, geopolitical, the way countries will have to engage with themselves, all that and many more need to be spoken with that approach.
So are you all set to interview Ambassador Bartoli? Since we are already at his residence.
Let's go and get down to work, Nidhi.
Let's go.
Thank you so much, Ambassador Bartoli, for taking out the time to speak to us. It's a great time to talk, I would like to believe, for the two countries, Italy and India. Just about 80 years into the relationship, diplomatic relationship, the two countries have signed the joint strategic action plan, which could drive the relationship further. What is the trajectory for the relationship?
The joint strategic action plan is the demonstration that our two prime ministers took it seriously and want to translate the strategic partnership into action. And so they just identified 10 key priority areas for collaboration, of course, starting from political dialogue, and then trade and investment, science, technology, innovation, startups, space, defense, mobility, talent mobility, migration, connectivity, energy transition, security, and I would say people to people, so culture, inter-university cooperation, sports, and whatever. So this is our roadmap, and we are is covering 2025 for 5 years, and we have started, and we are doing well in your homework. They will meet next year. To touch base upon what has been done. They have met already 5 times in a little bit more than 2 years. They have also frequent telephone conversation. The last was a few days ago, and they touch upon also bilateral international issues, but also the bilateral collaboration. You have seen from the foreword that the Prime Minister dedicated to the autobiography of Prime Minister Meloni, about to be published in India, that defines Meloni, the very symbol of Nari Shakti, and underscores some common values. Ancient civilization, the attention given to tradition, identity, but also thirst for the future that is common to their policies, but also to the mutual interests of the two countries. And so, as a practical example, in terms of visit, we had the visit of the Minister of Industry, the two deputy ministers of Defense and and Foreign Affairs to pave the way for the respective visit of the ministers. So we will have the Minister of Defense. We already had the Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Foreign Affairs. He will come back by the end of the year. The Minister of University and Research, the Deputy Minister for Transportation. So these only in 1 year and only in one direction. There are other visits in the other direction.
Okay, that's fantastic to hear. The trade is also, if we focus a little bit on, you spoke of 10 areas where the two countries are cooperating. Trade, 14 billion.
Trade, yeah, trade and investment. Yeah, is more than 14 billion. Of course, in both areas, both trade and investment, we have to make them grow and also balance. Trade is like 9 billion euro, India toward Italy, and the rest vice versa, Italy towards India. In investments, we are making a lot of headway in the sense that we have more than 7 billion euro in investments. Just in the first months of this year, we calculated roughly that investments realized or announced for $500 million from Italian companies. Of course, we want to attract also important and strategic investments also from Indian entrepreneurs, because it's a friendly country, it's a democracy, and so we are interested in developing also this partnership. We are the second manufacturing powerhouse in Europe. We are very good at machinery. 40% of our exports here, machinery, and I think that once again there is a complementarity, because you want to develop more and more industry. And then there are some sectors from engineering to all the circular economy. You think you think of, for example, waste to energy. Cold chain, precision agriculture, auto components, biotech. So there are many things that we can do. We have also set up some important tools to favor this. We have created a fund of $500 million, so 500 million euro, to finance investments of Italian companies here. So and this is a fund only dedicated to India. Plus, there is the possibility for this company called the CIMEST, that is the company aimed at accompanying Italian companies abroad, to also take equity in the joint ventures, okay. So favor joint ventures with Indian companies, taking up to 49% of the Italian investment. And on the other end, we also have the export credit agencies called SACE. They are practicing push strategies called, okay. Like that, in the sense that we don't oblige.
Okay, so also a little bit about the India, Middle East, Europe Economic Corridor, the IMEC. Yeah. What's the scope and what's the promise that it wants to deliver?
The promise is rooted in the past, because this existed 2,000 years ago, and so there must be a solid reason. Rome, ancient Rome, at the time of Emperor Augustus, traded with India. At that time was pepper, spices. There was the Golden Road, so-called. So when Abe, the prime minister, Japanese prime minister, called Indo-Pacific, now the convergence of two seas, we say that there is the convergence also of this big area and the area of the Mediterranean basin, where And in the two areas, I mean, Italy and India are natural protagonists because there are platforms in the respective seas, or two peninsulas, and so are the natural terminals of this corridor that is for goods, but also for the goods of this century, data. And that's why an Italian company, Telecom Italia Sparkle, is posing a cable underwater to build high-speed data highway between Mumbai and Genoa. I think that corridors, I mean, every country is worried about being the terminal, but I think it's a bundle of routes, and at the end of the day, it's the market that decides that. I think that Italy is advantaged for several reasons, for the geographical position, and within Italy, certain ports, for example, Trieste was the port of the Austrian Empire, so is the port of all Europe, the heart of Europe, is a natural gateway, is a free port.
Absolutely. Also, while the IMEC will play its role, the plurilateral efforts that are being made by India and some other countries, the International Solar Alliance, you see the Global Biofuels Alliance, it addresses a lot of those key issues, sustainability, which matters to everyone. How are the two countries looking to cooperate?
Well, we do appreciate a lot the leadership India is showing and exerting on these global issues, and the role you want to play, especially in the global south. And so Italy adhered immediately to these initiatives, the Solar Alliance, biofuel, CDRI, that is on prevention of natural disaster. Of course, India is one of the most exposed to climate change, and we are making concrete contributions to these, also to these initiatives. For example, in ISA, the Solar Alliance, we are financing some centers in sub-Saharan Africa. Don't forget that Italy is one of the most important interlocutors for Africa. They are our neighbors, and we are developing a big plan of investment and pilot projects in several African countries with a peer-to-peer approach. We called it Mattei Plan, from the name of an important top manager of ENI that had this philosophy in the 60s. And we can collaborate in Africa on these issues, and not only in Africa. And on CDRI, we also are conducting in India and for India and other countries a program of training, capacity building. We are, as you, exposed to natural disaster, earthquakes, and so we have a civil protection that is very equipped and developed. And biofuel, we are in the top 5 of the producers, and don't forget that we have together is an intergovernmental with several nations, but there is an important center for biotech, life sciences that is in Trieste, Delhi.
Yeah, so some of those sustainability issues for aviation, where
absolutely
sourcing the fuel.
Aviation and shipping, we were talking about the IMEC. We have to make sure that this is also a green corridor.
Absolutely. Also, coming to the mobility agreement between the two countries, the youth need it, tomorrow's opportunities need it. How is that going to shape up and maybe be an example for many other countries to look at that partnership?
But once again, we were talking about a corridor of goods and data, but of course the exchange must be also in talents. Italy, unfortunately, is experiencing a demographic shift, so we are getting old. I think that last year a quarter of the population was over 65. and that causes also some deficits in the labor market. I don't know, for example, in the health sector, we need around 45,000 doctors and 65,000 nurses. In the manufacturing sector, we need 280,000. In hospitality, we need 250,000. So you see that there is a space for a win-win collaboration. The mobility agreement that we signed at the end of 2023 allows us to, for example, bring to Italy qualified personnel, provided that is trained in Italy.
Yeah.
And so we are studying opportunities in two main sectors. One is nurses, because there is a very good level, professionally speaking, and so there shouldn't be too much of a problem in recognizing the titles. And the other is vocational training. So there we have more than 700 companies here. Half of them, they have productive facilities, factories, so tech centers. And so we can launch a plan of vocational training that allows the companies to hire this personnel trained here, and then give also them an opportunity to work and live in Italy. I think is, and then of course we are enhancing the collaboration between universities.
So that also gets me to the point of innovation and where the two countries want to collaborate.
Yeah.
And if you get the right innovators, the enhancing the quality of the
Absolutely.
people who come to Italy will also be just about the way you're looking at.
Absolutely.
What is the scope of this innovation to grow?
This is one of the key issues in our mission, I think. You have a brilliant and a basin of brilliant and talented human beings, engineers, innovators. You are the third country in the world for the number of unicorns. Of course, it's due to the large population, but also the vibrant dynamism. I've visited several IIT. I remember in Chennai, for example, they produce more than one patent per day, Sunday and Saturdays included. So it's amazing. And what we would like to do is we have set up, there are 35 clusters in the main sectors, AI, quantum, biodiversity, life sciences, you name it, and uniting the best universities and research centers and companies. And so we want to put these clusters in dialogue with yours. And the Deputy Prime Minister already announced the launch of an initiative, an Italian Indo-Italian initiative on innovation, basically to create a center, an Italian center in India, engaging three components. Startups, so every year we will decide specific sectors, agri-tech, food tech, fintech, life sciences, and have here the best startups, Italian startups, for acceleration programs in different hubs in India, according to the sector. Second, we want to engage the best of our companies and the Indian companies, so already established, not startups, but already established companies with an innovation profile. And third, what we were discussing, foster the dialogue between universities and research centers.
That also gets me to the point of...
Sorry, and we also concluded we renewed the protocol. We have a scientific protocol financing between our Ministry for Affairs and your Department of Science and Technology, financing joint projects. And we did another agreement with our University and Research Minister, financing other projects in complementing the previous agreement.
Okay, Ambassador Bartoli, you also wanted to talk a little bit about the cooperation between the two countries in space and defense.
Yeah, space is a good example of innovation, business, research. We just had a mission to Bangalore, Hyderabad and Delhi with a group of very nice companies from big to smaller ones in different sectors of space, you know, from space exploration, Earth observation. We cover the whole value chain. Frankly, Italy is, you are the fourth countries having landing on the moon. Italy launched its first satellite more than 60 years ago, and we do design and build half of the International Space Station. The pressurized modules where astronauts live and work are designed and built in Italy. So we can do a lot in terms of collaboration between agencies. ISRO and the Italian homologue ASI have already identified projects in Earth observation with commercial also applications, heliophysics and space exploration. We did a wonderful dialogue between businesses. We will set up a matchmaking mechanism. Already a new mission is coming in the next month to Bangalore. And we started a dialogue on space. In defense, defense is once again a question of research, business, but also trust. Space and defense have also this core component of mutual trust. And I think that there is a lot of space, a lot of margin to develop projects of co-design, co-development and co-production together here in India.
So that gets me to the point of culture. How is that being pushed by the embassy in India so that the Indo-Italian partnership can grow?
Very much so, because I mean, suffice it to see the number, we are top in the UNESCO list as a simple gauge of that, but of course we know that we are heirs to ancient civilizations, but we are doing a lot in the present and for the future. We have one of the most dynamic, I think, I say with pride, cultural centers. We did, just in the last few months, we took for the first time a universal artist like Caravaggio, first time in India, in Delhi, Bangalore. Now we'll go to Mumbai. We just closed a wonderful exhibit on Roman mosaics. We will open a new one called Shared Stories to demonstrate that art, not only trade, linked us during the centuries from Rome onwards. We will have Biennale here because India decided to open a pavilion in Venice Biennale, but before that we are bringing Biennale here, engaging some Indian artists. We had just a focus on Italian movies at the International Film Festival with more than 30 Italian movies, so lots of projects. And also of structured collaboration, not just events. For example, an agreement between museums to favor not only exhibitions and loans, which is already important, and we are eager to help and foster Indian exhibitions in Italy to raise the awareness on your civilization, but also exchange of expertise, of experts, digitalization of manuscripts, new technologies applied to archaeological surveys, artist residencies. You know, we have a lot of projects ongoing, not only in culture. We were talking about people to people as such, but also in sports, because sport is a great vehicle of friendship, and also business, and also social activities.
So I must mention here, Ambassador Bartoli, Italy is part of the Cricket World Cup next year.
Yeah.
And they'll be visiting India and Sri Lanka, where the matches are going to be held. So it'll be wonderful to see the Italian team, which comprises one of them is an Indian who's doing very well, Jasprit Singh. So it'll be wonderful to see. So it'll be wonderful that the Italians can learn cricket from India, and possibly, as the mobility agreement allows, sports is one of the area. Maybe Indians can learn a little bit of football from four-time world champions.
Absolutely. When I was saying we have experience, is said really in a friendly way, in the sense that we are able to share our know-how, but at the same time we are eager to learn. We don't want to teach or lecture anybody, and frankly, we express all our admiration in front of the role India plays in cricket. We are a small, young team. We are proud of entering the T20 and happy that this is played also here. And not by chance, we already fostered an agreement and a dialogue between our respective federations, because we want to have Indian coaches train our players.
Fantastic speaking to you, Ambassador Bartoli. Thank you so much for your time.
Thanks to you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.